Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. When a man finally opens his mouth and says those words, those real words, not the smooth talk, not the sweet talk, not the playboy talk, I'm talking about the words that come from a man's soul. Baby, you've already won. When a man speaks from his heart instead of his habits, he's already chosen you, and most people don't understand how powerful that is. Men are creatures of routine, patterns, and emotional discipline. We're trained from a young age to be tough, to hold everything inside, to stay in control no matter what. We learn to live by habits, the habit of staying silent, the habit of pretending we're fine, the habit of not showing what we feel. So when a man finally breaks out of those habits and lets real emotion slip through his words, something major has happened inside him. That means he crossed an inner line that most men never cross unless the woman standing in front of them has completely disarmed their defenses. A man doesn't speak from his heart unless something deep has touched him. A man doesn't speak truth unless he's reached a place where truth feels safer than pride. And when he reaches that point, it's because you've given him something he can't ignore anymore: comfort, safety, understanding, or a connection that feels different from anything he's experienced. Men don't choose with their words first. They choose with their actions, their silence, their hesitation, their fear, and the way they study you before they ever say a word. But when he steps past all of that and speaks from his heart, he's letting you inside the world he normally keeps locked up tight. It means he's no longer performing, no longer trying to impress, no longer pretending. He's showing you the version of himself that he hides from everyone else. And that is never accidental. Men don't accidentally open up. They don't accidentally get vulnerable. They don't accidentally reveal emotion. They only do it when a woman makes them feel safe enough to be real. When he speaks from his heart, it means your presence softens something in him. It means he trusts you in a way he doesn't trust the world. It means he's begun to imagine something bigger, something long-term, something worth lowering his guard for. Most men go through life with emotional armor on because the world teaches us that vulnerability is dangerous. But when he drops that armor in front of you, even for a moment, it's because he's made a decision. He's chosen you in a way he can't take back. His heart made the first move long before his mouth formed the words. And here's what most women don't notice. The moment a man begins to speak from his heart is the moment he stops evaluating you and starts valuing you. He's no longer in the stage of seeing where things go. He's no longer trying to figure out what you are to him. He already knows. He might not announce it. He might not label it yet, but the shift already happened. His heart made a home for you the second he let himself speak honestly, openly, without filters. And once a man gives you that part of himself, it means you've already won something more powerful than his attention. You've won his trust, his hope, and the most guarded place inside him. A man's most powerful words come only when he feels safe, respected, and understood, And this is something so many people overlook. Men don't give their deepest truths to just anyone. They don't share the real parts of themselves with someone who makes them feel judged or misunderstood. A man can be surrounded by people, even loved by them, and still keep everything locked inside because emotional safety is rare for him. But the moment he feels truly seen, truly acknowledged, truly accepted for who he is, and not just what he provides, a door inside him quietly opens. That door is the place where his real feelings, real fears, real dreams, and real intentions lie. When he opens that for a woman, it means she has become a sanctuary in a world that constantly demands strength and silence from him. Men carry silent battles that they rarely talk about. They hold worries that they never show. They carry expectations from family, society, and their own pride. They feel pressure to be the rock, to have answers, to never fall apart. So when a woman comes into his life who makes him feel like he doesn't have to be perfect, who listens without trying to fix him, who understands without him having to explain every detail, everything inside him relaxes. He begins to trust her with the parts of himself that feel too fragile to expose. And when that happens, his words shift. They become more honest, more vulnerable, more meaningful. You can hear the difference because his tone softens, his pace slows, and his eyes search yours for acceptance. Respect plays a huge role in this shift. A man doesn't open up to someone who belittles him, questions his worth, or makes him feel small. He opens up to the woman who respects him not for what he has, but for who he is. To a man, respect feels like oxygen. It allows him to breathe. And when he feels it from the woman he cares about, it gives him permission to express feelings he normally represses. His heart becomes louder than his ego, and he starts sharing things he never planned to say out loud. This is why powerful words come only after he feels respected, because respect tells him, "You're safe here." But understanding is the final key. Men don't always have the vocabulary for emotion. Sometimes they don't know how to articulate what they're experiencing. But when a woman understands him, truly understands him, even in moments when he can't find the right words, he feels an emotional freedom he's never had before. He begins to express more, not because he practiced or planned it, but because he feels emotionally protected. His guard lowers and his truth rises, and the words that come out in those moments are the ones he means the most. Those are the words that reveal his soul, his loyalty, and his intentions, and they only come out when he feels safe, respected, and deeply understood by the woman who has unknowingly become his emotional home. The moment he admits vulnerability, you've already impacted his soul, and this truth is deeper than most people realize. Men are raised with an unspoken rule: never show weakness, never admit fear, never reveal uncertainty. So when a man begins to open up about the things that shake him, the things that hurt him, the dreams that scare him, or the feelings he can't fully control, he is stepping outside everything he was taught. Vulnerability is not a comfortable place for a man. It is a place he avoids unless someone has touched him in a way he cannot ignore. When he lets you see that softer, unguarded part of himself, it means your presence has reached far beyond the surface. You've made him feel something he didn't expect to feel, something he cannot pretend away, something that makes him trust you even when his instincts tell him not to trust anyone. Men show strength easily, but vulnerability, that's sacred ground. A man can laugh with anyone, flirt with anyone, charm anyone, but he only exposes his wounds, fears, and insecurities to the woman who makes him feel safe enough to reveal them. When he admits that something hurts him, when he tells you about a trauma he never healed, or when he shares what keeps him awake at night, he is handing you a piece of himself that he normally keeps buried. That kind of honesty takes emotional courage. He doesn't use often, and he would never do it if you hadn't already made a powerful impact on his heart. Women often underestimate how difficult this is for men. Even when a man feels pain, he will hide it behind jokes, silence, or distraction. Even when he feels lost, he will act like he has it under control. Even when he feels deeply for someone, he may hesitate to show it. So when he does choose to show it, when he says, "I'm scared, I don't want to lose you, I'm not okay," or "you mean more to me than I expected," those words come from the deepest place inside him. Those words are not just emotional, they are transformational. It means he has crossed an emotional line where he no longer fears being exposed because the connection he feels with you is stronger than the fear itself. A man's vulnerability is proof that you have become important to him. It means he sees you not as a temporary moment, but as someone whose presence has softened the cold parts of him he learned to ignore. By admitting vulnerability, he is showing you trust, respect, and emotional attachment all at once. He is telling you, without directly saying it, that you matter enough for him to risk being hurt. When a man chooses vulnerability, he is choosing connection over ego. And for a man, that choice is never casual. It means you've already left a mark on his soul, a mark strong enough to make him let go of the armor he has worn most of his life. Real commitment shows in consistent actions, not flowery sentences. And this truth is something many people hear but don't fully understand. Words are easy, especially for people who have learned how to say the right things at the right time. But actions, daily, steady, reliable actions, those are the real language of a man who is truly invested. A man may not always have poetic words. He may not always say what you expect, and he may not always express his feelings perfectly, but the way he shows up for you day after day is the real indicator of where his heart is. When a man is serious, his behavior becomes predictable in the best way. He becomes consistent, responsible, attentive, and dependable without needing reminders or pressure. He doesn't just promise, he proves. He doesn't just talk, he takes action. Women sometimes get confused by charming words that lack direction or promises that never materialize. But a man who is genuinely committed doesn't want you confused. He doesn't want you guessing, doubting, or feeling insecure. His consistency becomes his reassurance. He will communicate not because you demand it, but because he knows inconsistency breeds fear. He will make time for you even during the busiest seasons because priorities always find space. He will show up not when it's convenient, but when it matters. And he will make sure that his presence aligns with every promise he gives. A committed man doesn't keep you waiting in uncertainty. He doesn't disappear when things get difficult. He doesn't treat your heart like an option or your emotions like a burden. When a man is invested, he protects your peace instead of disturbing it. His loyalty shows through patterns, not moments. Anyone can be romantic for a day. Anyone can make big promises in emotional moments. But consistency is what separates intention from impulse. It's what separates temporary excitement from long-term devotion. Consistency also reveals a man's character. A man's habits show what he truly values. If he prioritizes you regularly, it means he sees the relationship as part of his life, not an interruption. If he puts effort into understanding you, supporting you, and making you feel appreciated, it's because he genuinely cares about your well-being. A committed man will correct his mistakes, not repeat them. He will communicate through conflict, not run from it. He will work on the relationship, not just benefit from it. You can tell a man is committed when his actions align with his emotional truth. He may not be overly expressive with words, but he will express love through effort. Effort is a man's love language when he's truly all in. He will be consistent in small things, the check-ins, the gestures, the support, the respect, because he knows relationships thrive on steady energy, not occasional sparks. When a man is truly committed, he lets his devotion speak louder than anything he could ever say. And that consistency becomes the clearest sign of love he can give, because real love isn't proven in moments of passion. It's proven in the reliability of everyday actions. A man only reveals his true feelings to the woman he sees in his future. And this is one of the clearest signs of genuine emotional investment. Men are naturally cautious with their deeper emotions, not because they don't feel them, but because they don't want to expose their hearts to someone who might not stay. A man will joke, flirt, and keep conversations light with almost anyone, but when he begins to reveal the parts of himself that are sincere, vulnerable, and unfiltered, it means he has already placed you in a space beyond the temporary. Men do not open their emotional world to someone they view as short-term. They only do that when their heart has quietly made a decision about who you are to them. His willingness to express real feelings is a preview of the role he imagines you playing in his life. This shift doesn't happen instantly. It builds slowly through trust, comfort, and emotional safety. At first, a man may test the waters with small admissions, telling you about things that bothered him, sharing something personal from his past, or expressing fears he usually hides. When he sees that you don't judge him, that you understand him, that you make him feel emotionally accepted, he begins to open up more. Suddenly, he's talking about his dreams, his long-term plans, and what he truly wants in life. He starts including you in these conversations, not directly at first, but indirectly, saying things like, one day I want to build a home, or I want a partner I can grow with. These statements are not